But yeah. Anyway, I was hoping to get my buddy Glenn to join because, well, I'll explain why later. Yeah, some big news. News today, right?
Big news.
Silent Hill, right there. So, I mean, I guess I'm trying to remember everything they did, but I guess we'll start with the remake, Silent Hill 2, which you already kind of assumed, and I did too. I had a feeling they were going to do some sort of remake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of glad they went with 2 since, Shattered Memories was pretty much, well, it wasn't really a remake of the first one, but
it's a reimagining, I would say.
Reimagining, which I would be interested to see a Silent Hill 1 remake, especially since, the PS1 being the high graphic quality it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that. However, after watching it, I started thinking, my concern is going to be, and this is going to sound off topic, but there's a reason for this. I have a feeling it's going to be the same way I felt about the Lion King movie, the newer one they did. Lion King is like my all-time favorite Disney movie. And I hated that remake, which is dumb because it was almost like a word-for-word remake.
Yeah.
It's kind of why I hated it. So it was like, why am I watching this?
I guess it's more like, for me, the only reason why I wasn't really a big fan of the remake for The Lion King, which I know it's kind of on topic, off topic, was just, I guess, the voice changes was the difference. I think that was my big turn off about that. But that's Lion King, though.
Yeah. But I mean, while I was watching the trailer, I was like, wow, this looks very much like it's kind of just
shot for
the
shot.
exact same. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to play it no matter what. I'm hoping there's going to be a physical copy because it made it seem like they're only doing digital, which will suck. But I haven't looked into that. The reason why I wanted my buddy Glenn to join was I can thank him for the fact that I have a PS5. So, and along with that, I can thank him for he's the reason why I was able to play Silent Hill 3 back in the day. Because I did have a PS2, so he let me borrow his just to play Silent Hill 3. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I know you were kind of like bummed out since it was PS5. It's a PC later on, but I know that's not yours.
I mean, that's not Xbox still. I mean, yeah, like they can co-align, but I think it was just mainly PS5 and Steam. I think is what it actually said. It'll probably come out on Xbox later on, kind of like what Tomb Raider did on Xbox, like the second Tomb Raider game, when they did the reimagining of that series. Like, it came out on Xbox as an exclusive, and then like years later, it finally dropped for the PlayStation 4 at the time. I have a feeling it's going to do the same thing, but it's just going to be too late on that once it does come out. But yeah, I'm still excited, and I see what you're talking about too. Like, it looks like it's going to be basically shot for shot of the original. But I mean, they are changing it a little bit where they're having that third person angle instead of like the kind of classic like camera, like random cameras wherever, like Evil did, like what Resident Evil kind of started, or is that those like random like cameras in different locations kind of thing. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see the new graphic changes though. Like, yeah, it's probably shot for shot, but you're gonna see so much more detail in this game this time. But I mean, again, there might be some changes because Resident Evil 2 remake had quite a bit of changes to its game. So did Resident Evil 3 remake. Sorry, my cat is wanting to be on screen for some reason. I'm sure even like with Dead Space the new Dead Space remake coming out, I'm sure there'll be like changes in that as well. It's going to give us new scares and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I will definitely check it out, but That's kind of my biggest concern. The other thing is, I don't know. Like, I kind of feel like the more detailed graphics might take away from it a little bit. There was something like this element of mystery that made it even more unsettling. Maybe that's just me, but I don't know. That was honestly, I was less and less excited as it went on because that was kind of like the big thing I was looking forward to. But we'll see. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
Did they announce the movie after that?
Yeah. I think no. It was another game first. It's a more of a story-based game. What it sounded like. It's like Silent Hill something. Because there announced 4 games. Like 4 games.
Townfall?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I actually forgot about that.
It looked like it might be more of how this one's going to be more like interactive, but it's going to be, I think, stationary. Like you're like, from what it looks like almost like a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of look. To me, that's it shows just like a desk and a screen. So it's gonna be like, I feel like it's gonna be like a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of Silent Hill game that they're working on. I mean, if done right, it could probably be pretty good, but it depends on how it's done. I mean, we could totally be seeing this wrong. It might be something else. It might be like a Telltale game that's going on as well.
Yeah, that one really confused me, and I mean, there's not much to talk about because
they
really didn't have much to. So it was the movie after that, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, ironically, I went and watched the original movie like the day before they announced all of this. Hey, I figured, it's October. Why not pop it in? Man, I don't know. I gotta admit, it's kind of hard to go back and watch. There's like so many just cringy moments.
I think it's better than the second one that came out.
Oh God, the second one so bad. Kim still hasn't watched that one, and I just can't wait for her to watch that.
I will say the only good thing about that one was the weird puppet or mannequin monster with the multiple arms kind of thing that they added on there, which I don't think was ever in the games, if I remember.
No.
They had like mannequin monsters, but they didn't have like one that was like a boss-like character.
Yeah. It was, I don't know, but that's the problem. Like I don't remember if they explained it, but I have no idea how Heather or Sharon is there, because at the end of Silent Hill 1 it looked like Sharon had kind of like trapped, or Alyssa had trapped, you know what I mean? Like
it kind of explained it, but it didn't. Like, yeah, like she just shows up through the I think through the window or the mirrors and like that. That's how she kind of like returns at the house. Like she just returns at the house that Sean Bean's character lived at and stuff.
Yeah, see, that didn't make. This is dumb, but I'm sorry. Well, that and the whole like freaking Pyramid Head being like the Tyrannosaurus Rex from Jurassic Park, and like at the end of the movie being the hero, and I was like, what the?
It's like watching Godzilla versus like Mega Godzilla at the end, where it's like basically like the weird. I don't know. Was she even a character in the games like that? Like this Trinity evil thing.
I'm trying to remember. Well, if you're, I don't remember. Was it Claudia?
I don't know the character's name. I just know it's Trinity from freaking Matrix.
Oh yeah. Honestly, can't even remember. I only watched that movie once, and I never want to watch it again. So, but yeah, I mean, I was a little disappointed that they didn't go down the Silent Hill 2 route, but it made sense to do Silent Hill 3, the movie, so to speak. But
now they're doing the Silent Hill 2 movie now.
Yeah, but the other issue I have with that is I just feel like, I mean, for one, well, let's throw Pyramid Head into it again. I was like, I mean, obviously, well, hello. But I'm like,
I mean, it makes sense for Pyramid Head to be in there the first time. This, it would make sense because it's part of James's character. Like, it's his mental part of him. Which in the the second movie, it was like, oh, this is your guardian. What?
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense in a way with Silent Hill 1, the movie, when you watch it, but he's just kind of there. He has no purpose. It's just a waste of time.
And he's a behemoth for some odd reason.
What's that?
Like, he's a behemoth for some odd reason. Like, he's like tall, where he's like in the games, he's like 5'5".
I know. It was about James' height, which kind of makes sense. Even that, like, I was actually excited when I saw like the footage from the game. I was like, oh, you're actually going to stick with the original design, not the tall, weird helmet. I'm an OG kind of guy, man. Just don't change shit, you know. Plus, anytime you see cosplay, it's always the movie. I'm like, poser. That's just me. But yeah, that'll be interesting. But I mean, at least it is the original director. He did do things respectively, but
I just didn't like that. It was like, oh, he's a gamer. Like, is he though?
yeah,
He's a gamer. He wouldn't have done these changes.
yeah,
He's very old gamer.
yeah. I mean, we're getting up there, man. We're getting up there.
True. I mean, that was 2006 when the first movie came out.
Yep. So he was probably what, our age at that time? Yeah, so it was Ascension was next, right?
Yes.
Okay, that one I'm still confused. What that's gonna be like?
It's that one. It sounds like it is going to be like a Telltale game. Like the canon, it's going to be canon. But it's. I mean,
That was weird. All of a sudden, it went to my Bluetooth.
oh no, you're. But like I was saying, from what it sounded like it's going to be like a Telltale story based.
Yeah, but like, how is it gonna work with like other?
How's it going to make
What's that?
everything officially canon?
Sorry. Whatever. We'll make this work.
We'll just like add like, subtitles.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping this will work in the end, but yeah, like I didn't really understand like how that was going to work, especially with like no reset button. I was like, okay, that makes sense, but I'm like, do you have to log on at certain times of the day to play with other people? But you have to sit down and play the whole thing straight through, like.
Look like it's going to be like a stream-based game. Like you're streaming. If you're streaming, people can help you make your decisions and stuff like that. Which
So I'll just be sitting there talking to myself. I typically do on stream.
so basically, it's like I guess kind of like Telltale, kind of like maybe Dead by Dawn kind of thing. Where it has like those choices that you make and stuff like that. That's my understanding how it sounded like. But I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, Behavior is a good company. I mean, they've done the Dead by Daylight stuff. So yeah. I mean, I was kind of half expecting when they said Behavior is like, so what? We're getting a Dead by Daylight Silent Hill just game itself. Is that what I thought at first when I saw Behavior in the as a production company for it. So I don't know. We'll see though. I mean, like it sounded interesting, but it definitely sounded like you have to be streaming to play it. Like
yeah, and I feel like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah,
but who knows? Hopefully, we'll find out. Yeah, about the toys, I don't know. I'm kind of curious about how much those are going to cost. But yeah, dude, I want the dog.
It's going to be about probably roughly $200.
Probably, if that's the case, I'm not buying that crap. Because I have, a Pyramid Head that's a pretty nice little figure. The wife has one of the nurses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know James that much, but
I kind of though of the Pyramid Head with Myra, or I never can say her name right. Maria.
Yeah.
Maria. Yeah, I want that with the elevator diorama.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was a scene that kind of messed me up as a kid. I remember playing that the first time.
I mean, like other than the dog one, that's the only two I want. I literally went, really? You're really gonna make that into to a figure or a statue.
But they had the plushie too. I don't know if you saw the little dog plushie. So that might be what I end up with because I can't pay $300 for that
Yeah.
crap. So Silent Hill F. That's also left, right?
Yes.
That one, I don't know, man. I'm intrigued by that one. Obviously, like you said, it's not in Silent Hill, but I'm assuming it's a whole different universe.
I mean, that's the only thing that is always stuck to Silent Hill. Every Silent Hill game has been based in the city of or the town of Silent Hill. So throwing it off into Japan, kind of like, it's like, is it somebody that's moved from Silent Hill to Japan and they're like cursed? That's the only thing I can get out of that. Because it wouldn't make sense unless it's gonna be like the room kind of thing where it's a portal to Silent Hill somehow. That's the only other kind of thing I can think of is like it's either somebody from Silent Hill that moved from there that's cursed and moved to Japan, or a room kind of situation.
Yeah, and like I said, it might just be a completely different universe. Who knows? But I will say I think that's the only thing I didn't really like about this whole live stream event. It was like, here's this, we know nothing about it. Cool. All right. Here's this, we know nothing about it. I'm like,
and the character that they showed, it kind of was like, okay, so this is us, kind of thing. Or The Last of Us, sorry.
The Last of It, yeah, like that was the vibe I got at the end. I was like,
and then
The Last of Us.
And then she looks like that tooth fairy creature from the cabin in the woods with her face lit up.
Yeah, I think that's my only complaint. Well, I mean, it was cool that they did this, but I kind of wish they would have waited a little bit when there's like maybe a bit more development, so I have an idea of what's going. Aside from Silent Hill 2, the movie and the game, I really don't understand what the rest of it really is.
Like, we're making these games that's like spin-offs to this other game that you like, so hey, just letting you know.
Yeah, and I think my other concern is like Silent Hill Burnout. Like, it just seems like a lot. I mean, they didn't really announce many dates, so I don't know like what the plan is, but I really hope this isn't like, oh, next year. I'm like, oof, that's...
I think this also caught everybody by surprise because of the fact that Konami had announced like a year or two ago that they're going to stop making video games and they're going to be basing more on their board games and their coin slot machines that they have in Japan. So this was also kind of like an interesting development because it's just, I guess they were like, so Resident Evil's getting all these remakes. Let's do our remake.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they were just kind of sitting on a money pit, in a way. But I think the thing that bothers me is they're not even really developing these games; they're just kind of involved. But yeah, like I said, I still wish there was like a Silent Hill VR announced for the VR2. It'd give me a reason to buy it. But
I wouldn't mind. I honestly think that they might do it like a Silent Hill 2 DLC where it's like in VR, kind of like what they've done with the Resident Evil games.
That'd so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just love like a reimagined, like Silent Hill 2, but 100% VR. Like that would be I don't care even if it's, the exact same game. That would just be cool.
I mean, they have the Resident Evil 4 in VR now too. So I mean, which they're also, apparently, from my understanding, even the remake is going to have a VR thing now, the new Resident Evil 4 remake, which we'll find more about it tomorrow because they're doing their showcase tomorrow. So,
Silent Hill or Resident Evil 5 remake, Resident Evil 6 remake.
I'm still a little hurt that they haven't done Code Veronica yet, which is before 4, but I mean...
I'm just waiting for, another 20 years from now when I'm an undisclosed age, and Silent Hill 2, the remake, they've already remade Resident Evil 3 like 14 times, but hey, as long as we keep buying it, I guess we'll keep making them.
Or like Silent Hill 10, the movie.
Oh God, yeah. No, I'm good.
I kind of want to see them go back to the comics because the comics were pretty dark.
Yeah, I've picked up a couple of the comics. They're hard to come by, but of course, when I see one, I grab them. But I haven't really read too many of them. But
Maybe they'll finally do some mangas next.
maybe. I think that's kind of what I was waiting for this big announcement to be. Was like, we're re-releasing Silent Hill the movie in 4K.
I mean, they probably are.
Probably, yeah. Well, I mean, it was on HD DVD back in the day. You didn't know. But, well,
yeah,
with that being said.
My parents accidentally got me that instead of a regular DVD. It's like, here's you a new Silent Hill. I can't watch it because I don't have this system.
What's funny is I have 2 of these damn HD DVD players. I can't get it to work. Purposely bought an HD DVD because I was like, let's check it out. They don't work for some reason. But yeah, overall, like, I mean, it was exciting, but I kind of felt like I was left with more questions than anything else because I was like, okay, cool. There's like 30 games coming out, but I only know about 1. So,
we'll give you more information next year. Like, why make this announcement if you're going to do it next year? It didn't make sense.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of like leaks going out. And, you know, I've heard about them, but I'm like, I'm not going to get excited. I'm not going to even think it's real. But, hey, you know, there actually is a guy, last little fact, that I watch on Twitch every now and then who's been making a kind of like a Silent Hill 2, like you could like kind of remake the game. Kind of like Mario Maker in a way.
Mm-hmm.
He's been like developing this program where you can go in and like change things. And I was like,
that's cool.
Cool, yeah. But anyway, a little bit longer than I expected. I guess we'll wrap that up. But yeah, Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think.
Hopefully, though, I was kind of half expecting it was going to re-release all 3 games and or all 4 technically, like with the room, like have like a 4-pack remaster like that, not like a full remake.
Well, you know, they probably could redeem themselves and actually redo, because when they did the HD remasters back a long time ago, they were buggy as hell. There was also issues with like Silent Hill
3 was the biggest one I heard that had issues.
Yeah, like I can't remember, like they didn't have the original dialogue, but even Silent Hill 2 had redone dialogue, and I was like, this is awful.
I think I understand for Silent Hill 3, it was the dialogue and the music. That was like they took out music on certain spots where it was really quiet now, and then again with the dialogue, they changed the dialogue around, which didn't make sense. Yeah,
and then like just the fact that they just completely were like, well, fuck Silent Hill 1, because like I said, that's the one that really could use a good like remaster in a way. You don't have to remake the entire game, but just re-render it just a little bit, you know, make it look a little bit sharper or something. But,
do the cutscenes.
Yeah, and even the cutscenes aren't that terrible. Like I'm just saying, like re-render it a little bit, you know. And I think that's one of the reasons why that game is so expensive, because it's the only way you can play that game. But anyway, yeah, we'll wrap that up. We'll see what the next couple of years brings. I'm sure I'll play them all, do some crazy reviews, probably just be a dick the whole time. But,
and stream them all.
Maybe if I can get that crap set up. But yeah, all right. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and let us know what you think.
See you guys.